Has anybody known before seen what this human zoo, what a human zoo is? Let me show you what human zoos are. I'm skipping this part here. I will repeat it next week. It all started in the 16th century when the Cardinal Hippolytus Medici of the Vatican has a collection of people of different races as well as exotic animals.
Collection.
So do you remember? And do you remember? And all of you, do you remember?
Was it Cardinal?
That's what I'm saying. So that is why I have those things up there in highlight. Do you remember the Valverde debate? The Catholic Church. So basically, this is what is happening. The Catholic Church debated whether the Red Indians had soul or not to justify their treatment of the Red Indians. You remember that? Now this debate, because religion has been thrown out, has not transformed itself into the scientific endeavor, whether the people who are advancing science and civilization by use of science and technology, are they intrinsically superior to the savages that they are exploring?
So you mean it is not science or religion, it's the people. Such people who are devilish, put them in your place. They're going to behave the same way.
That is correct.
Unless you do qital against.
Unless two things, only two things. Unless they become Mormons, or
Problem solved. You know,
or
But how that problem be solved?
okay, let's look at quickly some pictures, and I think what time is it?
Collection
Okay.
of people. Wow.
Okay, no, I can tell you what I'm going to show you. You guys have never seen before. This guy, P.T. Barnum. P.T. Barnum. Read about him. See, he was a philanthropist, a politician. He was elected to the Connecticut legislature. Okay. He built 4 big, houses. One of them was Iranistan, Lindercroft, Valdemar, and Marina. Iranistan was based on, the Muslim architecture. It still, I think, exists in Connecticut. Look at the honor that has been bestowed on this guy. Okay? And what did he do? What did he do? This is a lady who was enslaved out of Africa. These are the actual posters of that time. He put her in a circus, telling everyone that she was the nanny of George Washington. And she was 161 years old. For display. Okay, this African lady, she was put on a display in a circus by P.T. Barnum, saying that she is the nanny, she is the one who took care of the founding father of the United States of America.
And you put money on it.
And
View.
people came to view that. And he was, additional curiosity, 161 years old.
And he put a ticket on it.
So, this is how it was. He was earning $1,500 a week. That is equivalent to something like around, I think, 5,000, 10,000 a week now. I don't know. I really don't know the translation.
Far more than that.
Yeah.
It should be far more than that. Okay? As doubt
Put 2 zeros in front of it.
As doubt had been expressed about her age, Barnum announced that upon her death she would be publicly autopsied. She died the next year. To gratify public interest, Barnum set up a public autopsy. A surgeon in front of 1,500 spectators in New York City saloon, with Barnum charging 50 cents admission. Rogers, the surgeon, declared the age claim a fraud. Barnum insisted that autopsy victim was another person and that Heth was alive on a tour to Europe. Later, Barnum admitted the hoax.
Oh my God. God.
See,
Hold on.
But he
Hold on. Let me make a point here. This guy, can I go back? You are honoring this guy? To honor the 200th anniversary of Parnon's birth, the Bethel Historical Society commissioned a life-size sculpture created by local resident David Gisuldi that stands outside the public library. Do you understand? Now let me put you in the context. Do you guys understand why there is the kneel down protest against? What's the cause? What's the cause? This is the cause.
And then
Do you know the lines in the national anthem? Does anybody knows the lines of the national anthem of the United
that
States?
is also racist.
No.
I will show you later on. It has a deeply racist element inside it. So Joyce Heth was one. I want to make a quick point here. Second was Chang and Eng bunker. This is from where we get the word Siamese twin. These were born conjoined twins in Siam. That time Thailand was called Siam. And that's how we got Siamese twin here. I'm not going to really talk about this thing. Sarah Bartman, very unfortunate woman. Look at her. She was employed as a wet nurse in South Africa by one of the Dutch colonials. And what does he do to her? He sells her. And he sells her to London, where she was exhibited as a animal in Piccadilly Circus. When people objected in London, she was thrown to in France. These pictures are really the only pictures that I can share with you guys. You can do this yourselves. Her story is such horrendous that I cannot even begin to tell you. Actually, I really feel disturbed when I read these things. In France, she was in every kind of thing was done in France to her. And look, a singular this is what people were saying about her. A singular specimen of humanity and therefore of a special scientific interest. This is what you're talking about, a human being. A living human being who is hardly 19 years old, ripped from her homeland, displayed as a cruelty for the objectivity of science. How low can you be? There is her skeleton and skulls were put on display in the Muséum d'Histoire Naturelle, the Natural Museum of History in France, the elite institution in France today. Do you know that it is the elite of the elite institutions of France today? The skeleton, upon much objection, it was removed. The skeleton was removed in 74 and the body cast in 76. But is that all? These are the people responsible for that. He is considered the founder of functional anatomy. He's praised. He's revered. This is a caricature of that lady. This is the poster publicizing her appearance in this British circus. This is her return of whatever remained of her back to South Africa. This is her last resting place.
She was just 25 years old, right?
No, 20 years. Somebody wanted to make a musical out of this. This is how they are going to display it. This is the news article, BBC News article, and see what it says. Her brain, skeleton, and sexual organs remained on display in Paris Museum until 1974. Actually, it is not right. It should be 1985. They wanted to make a movie out of this thing and star Beyonce on it. And the people who she belonged to, the Khoi people, they said, what did he say? The basic human dignity to be worthy of writing Sarah's story, let alone playing the part. So this whole concept of making movies is really ridiculous. Somebody in anger then put up this poster, and you can read it yourself. What is this saying? Taking this, this is what happens when you don't have iman. You take you jump from one extreme to the other extreme. These were two brothers and sisters.
उन्होंने पूरी कौम को ही यहाँ खड़ा कर दिया है।
Two
इसको प्रोफेशन डिक्लेयर कर दिया है। डिस्प्ले करो अपनी जो है जिस्म को, बेचो, पैसे कमाओ उससे।
So these are two twins who had developmental disability in El Salvador. They were put on display circus.
तो आप देखिए ना, मतलब है कि 100 साल में 200 साल
150 साल
150 साल में पूरी कौम किन लोगों के पीछे चल पड़ी?
Why?
उन्होंने आइकनाइज बनाया।
Why?
किनको फॉलो किया?
Because
इनकी सोचों को अपना लिया।
Because we failed to do our job.
और the blame goes on good people.
On good people.
On those who had faith and iman in them.
Yes.
And unfortunately, those people who had faith remained into a stupor, an idiocracy that we are praying salah, we are good. Jannah is just waiting for us, because after finishing my salah, pray Ayatul Kursi. So Jannah is just waiting for me. That's me I'm going to die and my next foot is going to be in Jannah.
So
ignoring all these responsibilities.
So this guy,
which that iman has bestowed upon us.
Carl Hagenbeck is the modern founder of zoos, and he's called the Hagenbeck Revolution. See what he did. So we did P.T. Barnum. You saw what happened, right? Let's look at Carl Hagenbeck. And I'm going to. He got people from various parts of the world. I'm just going to skip this human zoos part here. I want to show you some pictures, and then inshallah next week we'll look at this thing again. This is Benga, who will be displayed in the Bronx Zoo. Here he is with the ape. In defense, listen to this. In defense of the depiction of Benga, the New York Times editorial. Who is defending it? Who is defending it? New York Times editorial is defending the display of Benga in the Bronx Zoo. What does he say? We send our missionaries to Africa to Christianize the people, and then we bring one here to brutalize him. He planned to return to Africa, but unfortunately, World War I started, and ships stopped going, and he committed suicide. William Temple Hornday was the director. Okay. Just with this one, he was the one who is the director of the zoo. And see, he just look at his awards. Look at it. The Boy Scouts honor him. Franklin D. Roosevelt names his in Mount Hornday in the national park. Mason Grant. Look at this. 1,000 African skulls in Berlin. Scientific research. Treaty of Versailles. You remember we discussed this? Sultan Makwa. This is a Muslim sultan whose head was severed and his skull taken to Germany. I want to show you one particular thing, connection here, and then I'll close. These are some pictures of the human zoos. This is what was before in 1907 and what is its current status. Two slides and then I close. I want to see at the 1904 World's Fair, the 2,000 primitive people were on display. How many? 2,000. The purpose of the display was to demonstrate the superiority of the white Americans who had evolved further. Who are responsible for this? Anthropologist W.J. McGee designed the display. Anthropologist. So what is the connection with anthropology today? I repeat that picture. Why am I showing Afghanistan now? Look at those two pictures. I put it side by side. What does the army needs in Afghanistan?
Anthropologists.
Did you guys know that? What was the program name? Human Terrain System. Where's Brother Fawad? United Army Training and Doctrine Command. So you go to the army to get indoctrinated. You think that's what happens in a club or something, right? What is the command's name? Doctrine. And you're talking about objectivity.
Liberation. They liberated them.
It was so bad, this program was so bad, that the AAA, the Anthropological Association, had to publish a statement against it. They said, we do not want to weaponize anthropology. And this was just a part of what it was before Operation Camelot. I just wanted to show you this. I'm closing. You see this picture? We saw that picture? Why Afghanistan? Putting it side by side. How do you see this? Can you see the similarities there? This is from the Army Needs Anthropologist in Afghanistan. And what was it called? Human Terrain System. Who wrote the Doctrine Command? They will tell you, you are indoctrinated. What are they doing? There's a whole command called Doctrine Command. And you are ashamed of being indoctrinated by Allah.
What is Doctrine Command?
It indoctrinates the soldiers.
What do you mean by that?
So anyway, this was Operation Camelot, was in 1964. I can't go into the details of these things. The point I was trying to make here is things are very interconnected. They are related. Things do not happen in the air. Things that are happening today, there is a continuity of knowledge. If you don't see it, you can't react to it. Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum.